All right, guys. Today I'm going to explain to you about the steering wheel, right? So here is the original steering wheel. I mean, every one of you guys know what this looks like, right? So in order to take this apart, so this is my problem. This whole entire steering wheel area is all beat up. So plus the airbag doesn't work right. So what I've done was I've torn this apart earlier already. If you take a look at the back, there are actually 2 screws on the side. If you take out the 2 screws, what you could do is you can lift the airbag right out. When you do, you're gonna have sets of wires, right? This would be your horn wire, and then there's actually another set of wires that goes, so that's where the horn goes in, right? But actually there's also this wire that goes to the airbag itself. One of these goes to the airbag itself, okay? Here is the bolt that's in the middle. Lefty loosey, right? When you're almost done, wiggle it a little bit. Mine actually came right off, but some of it might be stuck. So you wiggle a little bit before you take out the whole entire thing. Once you do, okay, you get this. This is the airbag sensor. This is your horn. It's normally set up over here, right? So what I've done was this is the resistor that came with the aftermarket steering wheel. So I plugged it into its place, and then I taped everything back up, and this does not go back into the car, okay? So this just sits underneath here all to itself. This, so this is the mount kit that comes with it. I decided NRG instead of Momo. That's the only second other option. The Momo is much bigger, so it's kind of uglier in my perspective. This is much thinner. Okay, so I chose this version. Now what I also had to do was I also had to put an extension cable from here all the way to the steering wheel itself. Because if I didn't do that, every time you make a turn, right, it would actually pull the cable right out of the socket. Okay, and then one other thing. So here's the sad reality. Because of this particular type, there is no sensor for turning. So what happens is you'd have to shut off and turn on the turning yourself. All right, so I kept all the wiring in place. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just gonna turn this all the way around. Just be careful, don't try to put it in towards the middle, okay? So one more round. Then I'm gonna put your mounting kit in. This is a, if I'm not mistaken, E36-ish. Anyway, if you search online, you'll find out exactly what version it is. And what you can tell is that it'll fit perfectly in place. Okay, so I'm going to put the bolt right back on. And I ran the wire on the outside of this hole, not in the actual bolt hole itself, okay? So don't do that. Just do a good lock. Don't go crazy, okay? Just get it so that way it's on tight. And don't strip out the bolt, of course, because if you do, you're kind of screwed. All right, so here's my problem. Here's my aftermarket wheel. And this is actually another Energy. This is a quick release. When I initially put this on without the quick release, it rides great. Everything's fine. The only 2 problems I have, I couldn't see the dashboard, and my fingers to all of the adjustments are just too close. So sadly, I had to buy a quick release. The quick release comes in 2 pieces, right? One is to mount on, and the second one is to mount onto here. I'm not going to show you guys these pieces. More or less it's still the 6-bolt setup. The difference is that there are 2 wires here that goes to the horn itself. That's all, right? So as you can see, this mount kit, the numbers at the bottom, and that dot tells you that's up top. When you first put the wheel on, make sure the wheel is locked, because if it's slanted or anything, you just kind of screwed up your adjustments already. So here, what I did was because I actually put a really big long cable, I then just plugged this in as is, but definitely don't cramp the cable. All right. So if I do that, I'm just going to put 2 for now. I'll put the rest in later, just to prove to you guys that, you know, how to get everything done. 2 should be more than adequate enough to lock everything in place. Bear with me. Once again, NRG's up top. There's a small little dot that tells you that it's top. Reason why is because when this locks in, it has to be perfect aligned. Okay, so let's say, for example, I put 2 in. Now, for this, press this button in and make sure it goes beyond that button. Because once you do, voila, there you have it. Now, the horn will not work. Reason being is because the car needs to be on for the horn to work. Okay? If you, for any reasons, you turn on the car and it beeps automatically, what that means is that you've got the 2 wires twisted. So you just swap it to the other side and you're good to go. All right? Bye-bye. So, Video, what do you think of the steering wheel?
It is nice.
Cool. Maybe later, that'll be yours. Say bye-bye.
Goodbye.